All right, what's up, fellas? Time for Wake Up Mintzy. A little Tuesday afternoon. Beautiful summer day in Chicago. Got my Stella Blue coffee out. Still drinking iced coffee at 4 p.m. Got my dude wipes. And, man, what could be better? Because you know what? We're in August now. Football season is finally almost upon us. I'm getting in the spirit. This is always the month. I always say this with the gambling and football season. The money is made in August. It's all about the research, especially in college football. So been diving deep into the lab, getting the prep going, and as always, things rolling at Barstool. Got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. The Barstool Summer House starts on Thursday, and you better have your popcorn ready. Last night, great Moot Can't Sleep stream. Can't wait to see. I mean, what a cast of characters with Nikki Smokes and Annika and Ella and Kadick and Dante and Brianna and Jackie. Can't wait to see what happens in the Barstool Beach House. It's going to be must-see TV. But we're joined right now by, I didn't realize, I saw Twitter, the birthday boy, Liam Blutman in the house. Blutman, happy birthday, bud.
Thank you, Mintzy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Always great to see you. Is that mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. All right. But just happy to have you for a second. What are you, 28 today?
27. Old.
I'll say this about Blutman. You're like an old soul in a younger body. Like, not like you look
Mintz,
old.
His mic is not on.
Oh, his mic's not on.
Mintz,
All right.
His mic's not on.
All right, I'm getting it. I gotta get your mic. Should be good now.
Good.
I thought I threw one. All right, should be good now. But anyway, 27, prime years.
Yep, 27, like you said. Potentially an old soul, I'd say. I felt like I was in my late 20s when I was 10, 11, 12 or something. Is what it is. Just another number, just another day.
Well, you're entering many people say you're entering the prime of your life, 27 to 32.
Mintz, it's still not on.
Still not on.
Turn it on.
I turned on every mic. I turned on every single mic.
I don't know. There's nothing I can do.
All right, hang on. I'll be right back. I'm going to go. All right. Give me 30 seconds.
Can you talk about me?
I'll talk.
Yep, talking.
Anyway, but getting Blutman's mic fixed. But happy 27th birthday to Blutman. One of my favorite. We've had a lot of great hires through the years, but Blutman, you're one of the best. You're literally, like, you came in here and, first, I remember seeing you first day. I'm like, this dude looks like a character. But the no context CFB account you had was always like a legendary account. And but you just came in here, you got the right personality. Everybody loves you here. You work hard. I enjoy it. Just you're always like pleasant to see in the office.
Thank you, Mintzy. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And also, I'm not gonna lie, I love having you around because of how much college football you know. I like to think I know a pretty good bit about college football, but I definitely wouldn't say I'm on the same level you are, and it's fun getting to talk ball with you.
I know a bit here and there. Yeah, I love the sport. I'm hungry for college football. I need to watch college football. Today would be a great day for a college football game. I'm starving.
Yeah, well, I know y'all been rolling with Unnecessary Roughness. How are you enjoying the new addition, my guy T-Bob over there?
T-Bob is one of the greatest people I've ever met. He's an incredible person. He's nerdy. He loves sports. He's right up my alley.
Yeah, I agree. I remember I actually told Dan in 2021, I was like, we need to hire T-Bob because I just know, like, he's such a just great person and funny stories.
Very funny.
Fits right in. All right, well, while we got Blutman here, I don't want to keep him too long on his birthday. I've got some Big Ten questions for him. I know that y'all been already talked some Big Ten on Unnecessary Roughness, so I'm just going to kind of rapid fire a few questions for you. I'm looking at their DraftKings, our friends, our partners, and as always, bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And I'm looking at odds to win the Big Ten, and I kind of think the wrong team may be favored.
Really?
Ohio State plus 190. obviously they bring a lot back, but lost a ton. I don't like them losing Jim Knowles as defensive coordinator. I'm a big fan of his. And does it look like? Do you think Julian Sainz is going to win the quarterback job?
I think Sainz going to end up winning the quarterback job. I still think it's close, though, and too close to call. Like, I think Lincoln Keenholz is deservedly so been given the opportunity to go and take the job if it's his. Like, that's how it should be. He's more of a more of that prototypical Ohio State quarterback, I suppose, where he's bigger, he's athletic, he could run it up everywhere, and like with saying you're not getting the Ohio State quarterback rushing ability, which we really haven't seen. I mean, Dwayne Haskins wasn't run, but for the most part,
CJ Stroud didn't run either.
CJ didn't run either, but for the most part, I feel like Ohio State quarterbacks in the last decade plus, they can go out there and run. Sainz not really going to bring that. He's going to bring more of a downfield passing game and just kind of pick you apart. So we'll see. I can't wait to watch either of them. I don't even care who it is. I can't wait to watch either.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think Penn State should be favored, and I don't know if that's a hot take with everybody coming back with Drew Aller and then both running backs. But I'm a Jim Knowles roadie.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought he did an awesome job at Oklahoma State and Ohio State.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Oregon, Dante Moore, where are you on him? Because Nix and Gabriel are really good the last couple of years. I feel like Oregon's getting benefit of the doubt just off how good they've been the last few years.
Yeah, I think Oregon's getting a lot of – I don't know how to word this the right way. Water held for them. Like, they're getting a lot of credit going into this season. But there is a lot of turnover. The Evan Stewart loss is tough. I can't wait to watch true freshman DeCorian Moore, though. I think he's going to be nasty. Their tight end, Keon Sadiq, is an enigma. A tremendous player there. Comes from Idaho. He's a NFL first-round pick when he departs. One of the best athletes in the country. I know he's somewhere on Feldman's Freaks list. I think they were talking he ran 22 or 23 miles an hour. He hit on the GPS, which is nutty to think about when we're talking about tight end with insane movement and just so fluid. The Mekhi Hughes coming in's nice. Their defense is tough. Like, I think Oregon's good. I don't know.
They're getting that benefit of the doubt, like they're top five good.
Dante Moore, it's finally his time, right? Like, we looked at him 2 years ago and thought going to go in at UCLA and kind of light it up as a true freshman, and he didn't grab hold of that opportunity, and he had split time with Garbers, and there were glimpses. Like, as someone who's watched, I would say, every snap Dante Moore's played in college football so far, there's been glimpses of greatness. There just hasn't been consistency. If Dante could put it together, he'd be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. It's just if can he do that? I can't wait to find out. I hope he's terrific. I think Oregon, though, like, if Oregon won 9 games this year and missed the playoff, I just wouldn't be surprised. Like, I could see some steep regression. I just could.
I also think it's weird that they're traveling on the road in the Big Ten cross country if they get in some cold games. I got to check their schedule, but like I feel like they could drop 1 or 2 of those too. All right, I'm gonna rapid fire a couple more and let you get out of here. Michigan, is Bryce Underwood gonna be the starter week 1? You think?
Yeah, I'm sure he will be.
They got an interesting one at Oklahoma week 2. Very interesting.
I kind of like them to beat Oklahoma, but I mean that's just me talking on in early August. Kind of gotta get a better feel when the week of the game is there and everything, and see how Michigan looked against New Mexico, I suppose. But I like Underwood. I like McCauley at receiver. I like Haynes. Like, they have another good running back room. I know they lose a lot of talent, but it's Michigan. Like, they are going to, maybe reload's not the correct word, but they're going to load up that artillery, and it's going to be pretty fascinating to see. They lose a lot in defense. They just have new guys that are going to step up. I think that's the one thing people always say, like, oh man, they lost a lot. Well, yeah, when we're talking about a big-time program, they're usually going to lose a lot, and they're usually going to have, for the exception of Florida State, big-time players who are ready to step in, break out, and be the next big guy that when you talk about, and you're like, oh shoot, well, in 3 years that guy's gone. How are they going to be able to replace him? It's a never-ending cycle. I think Michigan is going to be just fine. I think they'll win the Air 9 games. I just don't like their head coach.
Yeah, I do give Wink Martindale the benefit of the doubt as far as defense goes. USC, Miller Moss now in Louisville. How do you think Lincoln Riley can get this thing together? Because it seems like that momentum in that program's been really stagnating.
I don't have like a fair answer. I thought if you asked me in November last year where I thought Lincoln Riley would start, like where I thought he would be week 1 of the college football season, week 1 of the NFL season, I thought he'd have been on the sidelines for an NFL team doing offensive coordinator stuff or up in the booth. Like I did not expect him to be at USC. I know there was tension between the two sides. I know that he was unhappy. I know that this hasn't gone near to either like to anyone's plan. It's been a massive failure. So for him to be there right now is very interesting to me. I think he's done. If they win 8 games, like that's unacceptable. You're USC. You've gotten rid of previous coaches for not being able to overcome that hump, and there's no more giving them the benefit of the doubt. If USC goes out there and wins 8 games this year, Lincoln's done. I don't know though. I don't like they have an elite defensive coordinator, DeAnton Lynn. He's one of the probably top 3 defensive minds in college football right now. That Cameron Fountain, edge rusher, is due to break out. They still have pieces on offense, but it's like Jay and Maiava, I like him as a quarterback. I love him as a group of 5 quarterback. It's hard to like him as a Big Ten quarterback. It's hard to trust in Lincoln Riley when all 2024 was clock malfunction after clock malfunction and all this in-game mismanagement that I don't know what to expect from them. They could win anywhere from 6 to 9 games, and again, I think 8's a failure.
Yeah, no, I don't trust them. That's for sure. I've got like 3 other quick questions. On Indiana, out Fernando Mendoza taking over at quarterback. I thought he flashed a lot at Cal, looked pretty good. Obviously they shocked everybody in college football making the playoffs. What do you expect as the encore?
I think people kind of copy pasting from last year, kind of looking at Indiana's non-conference schedule and pointing at them and laughing and saying, oh, same old Indiana, they ain't play anyone, blah, blah, blah. Like PFF put out Indiana's the 3rd easiest schedule in the country. That's a bunch of baloney. They play at Penn State, they play at Iowa, they play at Oregon. You want to tell me that
3 that can't be work?
No, that's 3 games that no team in the country would sign up and play. And yeah, I mean they're not signing up for it. I mean they are in terms of Big Ten agreements and everything, but like they have to go and play at Penn State, at Iowa, at Oregon. That's a terrible 3 games that you have to play. I think Indiana's going 8 or 9 games this year. I think Indiana today is better than Indiana that ended last season. Like I think in the Indiana that played all last season, like I love Kirschberger. I think Indiana upgraded at quarterback. I think they got better pretty much everywhere. I think it's a good team. I think it's a very well coached team. It's just, hey, people want to clam on their schedule. Guess what? Yeah, they're gonna be 3-0 at the end non-conference. Go and look at Penn State's non-conference schedule. It's just as bad. Go and pick out certain teams' schedules in this country. There's a lot of teams that are completely ducking non-conference opponents, that are doing the easy way out. Look what Michigan did a few years ago. More teams are taking that approach. It's unfortunate. Sign of the times. What are you gonna do? I like Indiana. I those 3 games, man. I don't know which game of those that they could take, and that's where I'm hung up on.
That's fair. That's totally fair. All right. I noticed I watched the unnecessary rough this year. Not as hot. You think Illinois might be a touch overrated going into this year?
Yeah. People seem to think like I like Bielema a lot. I like Altmaier. I think he's a good, solid quarterback. I just think he's fairly replaceable. Like if you ask, Illinois in a month or 2 who they'd rather have a quarterback, Mendoza or Altmaier, I think that they're going to take Mendoza 98 times out of 100. Like that's just how I think. I like Bielema. I like the running backs they have. I like the defense. I think the unfortunate part for Illinois is they're 12 in the coaches poll. They have had ludicrous amounts of hype, and like they're the trendy, cool underdog team that's going to take that next step, right? They're trying to build off a great 2024 season, How many times do you see that story crash and burn? How many times do you see that story? Remember Virginia Tech last year, not near the accolades in the preseason that Illinois has gotten and will get, but Virginia Tech was a trendy player.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people said they were going to win the ACC last year.
Yeah, they got smacked right off rip by Vanderbilt, and that was very telling by the line. Similar story by the line. Look at what the Illinois-Duke line will be week 2. Just when they end up playing, I think Duke's going to be favored in that game. I think Illinois has a better shot of starting 3-3 going into the Ohio State game than they do 6-0 into the Ohio State game, which everyone seems to think they're going to be undefeated when they play Ohio State. It's going to be some massive showdown. I think Illinois, I really do think, starts 3-3. And, like, that would be losses to Duke. That would be a loss to Indiana. That would be a loss to USC. And then you're going to lose to Ohio State, right? So that's 3-4 that they would start. And what's to say they don't drop another one? What, they drop a silly one in Northwestern? I don't think that's too crazy. Again, I like the team.
Yeah. You just think it's it's just the hype's got a little ahead of them.
The hype's crazy and stuff crashes and burns, and there's nothing you could do about it. Hype gets to the players' heads. You don't know what's going on in that locker room. I like Bielema a lot. I love Khalil Valentine, who's going to break out running back. I don't trust them, and everyone is putting a lot of trust into a team that hasn't truly earned that and won a lot of one-score games last year.
Yeah, I'm worried about South Carolina and that in the SEC. All right, 2 left. Nebraska this year, like 40-1 to win the Big Ten. Or are you buying in on
No,
real?
I'm not buying any Nebraska stuff.
They got a weird one at Cincinnati Thursday night to start the season.
Yeah,
weird one.
If Nebraska ends up being something, congrats to everyone who, congrats to Cornhuskers fans first and foremost. Congrats to anyone and everyone who decided to actually buy Nebraska stock. I have learned, I've learned from the outside looking in, as someone who's never actually bought Nebraska stock and will continue not to do so right now. I'm not really on Rule. Raiola hasn't really proven anything to me yet, aside from the fact he wants to be Patrick Mahomes so bad. I know it's a silly little thing. I'd rather my quarterback want to be his own man, though, than be Patrick. And it's like, that's a weird dynamic. I don't know. I'm not falling for this Nebraska trap. If Nebraska wins 8-9 games, I could talk about maybe going into 2026. But right now I can't. They ain't done anything to tell me otherwise.
All right. And the last one I got is, you mentioned you like Washington a little bit as a sleeper. I do love Fish, their coach. Thought he did an unbelievable job at Arizona. That quarterback kind of flashed toward the end of the year too. Do you kind of buy them taking a step forward this year?
I think Washington plus 900 to make the playoffs a pretty good bet. It's hard. A lot of people are looking for a next Indiana. I don't think there is a next Indiana, but Washington made the national championship 2 years ago. Washington is an established program. It's not like they're taking some crazy leap. Indiana did it from 3 wins to 11. Washington would do it from 6 to 10 or 11. Jed Fish improved in Arizona program that he got from the
dust below the ground.
He went 1 win. He went 5 wins. He went 10 wins. I don't see why Fish, who I think is a tremendous head coach, can't go up there at Washington with a 3-headed monster at quarterback, running back, receiver in Damon, Joe Coleman, and Denzel Boston, who are all some of the best players at their position in this country, especially when the quarterback seems so wide open. But I don't see why he can't just go out there and we went from 6 wins to 10 or 11. We beat Oregon. We competed hard with Ohio State. Their toughest 2 games are both at home. They're Ohio State and Oregon. Washington's always going to give Oregon a fit. Washington's always a tough out at home.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a weird place to go play. They got a good fan base. A lot of that same Seahawks fan base in there.
If Ohio State went and won the Big Ten but lost to Washington at whatever week it is, I would not be surprised at all. Washington, I think, is the most interesting team in the entire country this season. I will be watching probably every single snap until hopefully they don't, until if they were to crash and burn. I'd watch every single snap. I love that team. I love that roster. Rayshon Clark's going to be a breakout at nickel. Tacario Davis, who Fish had at Arizona, is a tremendous top 5 potential corner. They're low. The O-line stout. I would buy all the Washington stock I can. It's tough to say win the Big Ten when you have Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. It's tough to say make the Big Ten title game when you have those three teams, and you would think two of them are occupying it. But to make the playoff, Washington wins 10 games. They would have one of the wins against Oregon or Ohio State. They're in the playoff.
Yeah.
And people can't be mad about them being in. They'd be very well deserving of being there.
I believe in Fish. And then also they had 11 new starters on offense last year. And so, I mean, it was a total, even winning 6, like that was such a transition first year.
Yeah, they have a nasty true freshman wide receiver that might get some play. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I think that's a really, really good football team.
Well, I want to say happy birthday. Thanks for dropping some knowledge. Shout out your old man, Mark. Chad's got a question
for Blutman.
All right, Chad's got a question.
They want to know who he likes outside of North Dakota State in the FCS.
Who do you like outside of North Dakota State, the FCS?
South Dakota. In the FCS, we're talking about North Dakota State, South Dakota State, and the Dakota schools. We're often forgetting about North Dakota and South Dakota. We're talking about Montana State and Montana. Eastern Washington has always got a lot of love. JMU, App State before they graduated, right? Like, nobody's going to bat an eye at South Dakota. Mintzy, I'm going to say something right now that...
All right. Breaking.
Iowa State plays in Ireland week 0 against Kansas State.
I know. Wow, big game.
Who do they play week 2? They play Iowa. What's the sandwich? The sandwich is Iowa State has to come back from Ireland and play a top 5 FCS team in South Dakota with a quarterback, Aiden Bowman, lefty, tough, strong kid, final year of his college career, who was getting looked at by some of the top Power 4 programs. Maybe not top, but like legit bona fide Power 4 programs that were looking at quarterback play in December and April, and he never flinched. He said, I'm staying in South Dakota. Well, he started his career at Iowa State. Revenge factor there.
Oh, wow.
It's a very interesting story. I'm not saying South Dakota is going to beat Iowa State, but I'm saying that's a really tricky game. That might be one of the trickiest games on the schedule, and nobody is talking about it. Nobody's talking about... I mean, you see Iowa and Iowa State have fits from Northern Iowa and
always.
Dakota schools. Always. It's kind of a different game now where the Big 12 and Iowa State, obviously more so than Iowa, has adapted, and they're more of the explosive offensive team, and they've got a really good quarterback, probably top 15, 17 guy in Rocco Beck, but they lose Higgins and Noel.
Yeah, and they don't have NFL receivers usually either.
Correct. So, like, they're losing a bit. South Dakota's got an explosive offense. They got a running back, Charles Pierre, that's not to be messed with. So if South Dakota went out there as 20.5-point underdogs, they'll probably be, I'm just guessing, in week 1 against
a lot of them will depend on Iowa State, Kansas
State.
State.
It's a touchdown or 10-point game. I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me South Dakota beats Iowa State, I won't be surprised. Like, I might have to sprinkle the money line, but South Dakota's the team I look for. I don't know their odds to win the FCS National Championship. I don't know if they'll do it. It'll probably be NDSU again. Bryce Lance, probably the best player in the FCS. Trey's little bro, but South Dakota's who I'd say.
All right. Well, there you go. That's why I love having Blutman on. I just learned a lot about South Dakota and FCS ball that I didn't know. And I want to wish you a happy 27th birthday. As I said, I really truly do enjoy being around you every day.
Thank you, Mintzy. I appreciate you having me on.
And shout out to your old man, Mark, too.
Shouts out.
And shout out to Luke, the whole Blutman clan. Always great. Appreciate Liam dropping knowledge. I'm definitely peaked on the Washington thing now and got them on my radar more. We're going to be joined by Tyler Moody here in a second. But just August, this month gets me so fired up because football's coming. And that's what – I mean, the August days might move a little slow, but, man, that's what this month always is to me. It's getting excited. And we've got a lot of Barstool stuff, as always. I mentioned the Summer House starting Thursday. Can't wait to follow that. Camp Barstool, August 19th to 22nd. It's going to be freaking awesome. I'm glad I get to go this year. Super excited about that. But, man, it's really about spending the time prepping for football season. And can't wait to get ready. And been doing a lot of the NFL. Been looking at the college football week 1 lines and a lot of futures odds and stuff, and man, just really getting in the spirit of this thing. It's it's a lot of fun. And happy birthday to Liam, to Blutman. What's up, Moody?
What's up, brother? Yeah, it's the best time of the year. You got Major League Baseball, you got the postseason races going on, college football getting going, kind of gives you that appetizer going into the NFL. This is probably the best time of the year. Obviously, When you got
I
baseball
like. I
starting
mean,
up,
you gotta love
NHL.
October when you got football in the middle in the Major League postseason, right?
Yeah, I think it's my favorite time of the year. It's tough. It's tough to put any other time of the year above it. Obviously, I love the start of baseball season as well. But dude, when you can watch playoff baseball on a Saturday night and then watch the NFL all day Sunday into another round of playoff games, like it just doesn't get much better than that. That truly is the pinnacle for sports.
I love the baseball playoffs being on midweek to bridge the football weeks too.
Yep. Yep.
But speaking of that, I want to get into some MLB with you. How about that Rangers walk off by Jay Seung last night?
Yeah, big time for the Rangers. It was huge. That if they lose that game, they fall 2.5 back in the wild card. Now they're just 1.5 back of the Yankees. If they go ahead and sweep this series with the Yankees, they'll be ahead of the Yankees in the wild card. I think it's entirely possible. Evaldi's going tonight for the Rangers, so Texas in a great spot, no doubt about it. I think the wild card race in the American League is the best race in baseball right now. The NL, not quite as much. The Reds are there, but I just don't think they're going to be a true factor. Without question, it's the American League wild card race that is what you should be watching.
Well, speaking of that, the Yankees are free falling. They got swept in Miami last weekend. They lost in that walk off. They've been struggling for a while. Do you think they ride it, or is there a chance they miss the playoffs?
I think there's a chance they miss the playoffs. It would be a very Yankees thing to do. What's crazy is their bullpen is falling apart. Their bullpen, which they just went and traded for a couple of guys, sent away some legitimate prospects to acquire Jake Bird, David Bednar, and they have 2 times since they've acquired them given up big leads. Once to the Rangers last night, and then obviously to the Pirates the other night as well. Excuse me, the Marlins. So it's just the Yankees. I think they're going to free fall, especially if Texas takes care of business tonight. They'll have won the series, and then if Texas can sweep them, it's going to look really bad for the Yankees going down the stretch.
Yeah. Well, the Rangers, has Merrill Kelly started a game yet?
Merrill Kelly started against the Mariners. Rangers won that game. They damn near blew it late. Rangers bullpen has been a little shaky as well, or at least Garcia's been shaky. But I think the Rangers will be fine. I think they'll be fine. And Merrill Kelly was a great addition. If Texas gets in the postseason, you got to face Evaldi, DeGrom, and Merrill Kelly 1, 2, 3. I just think that makes Texas an incredibly difficult out.
Heck yeah, man! I love hearing that optimism. Looking around how good do you think Toronto is?
I think Toronto's good. I think they're gonna find their way in. I think they probably win that division. I don't see them as a World Series team. Something about them doesn't feel like a World Series team. But they've been underrated this entire season. Nobody, was counting on them to be in this position, and here they are. Vlad has rebounded. He's had a decent year, but Bo Bichette has really come around. That's been the guy offensively that's been driving the ship for him the last couple of weeks. And then George Springer's had a resurgent year. He's out with a concussion right now, but he's been big. The addition of Addison Barger. It's a good team. It's a good team. Eric Lauer pitching. Obviously, they just acquired Bieber. He'll be ready to go in 2 weeks. So if Bieber is legitimate, that makes them more of a threat in the American League. But the American League is wide ass open. I mean, could not be more wide open.
On the National League front, who do you see winning this Phillies Mets NL East race?
The Phillies. Yeah, I think they're just more complete. I think they got better pitching. I think they're more complete. I like the consistency with their lineup more than I do the Mets. I think the Phillies are the better all-around team.
You still feel good about the Brewers over the Cubs? Cubs struggling a little bit lately.
Yeah, the problem is Jackson Churio is going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. He's got a hamstring deal, so that's something to pay attention to. But they acquired Andrew Vaughn a couple weeks before the trade deadline, and he has been sensational. And I think he's going to have another big night tonight against the lefty Wentz for the Braves. So they're just a team that finds ways to win. Mizorowski's going to miss a week. He's got a leg contusion, but he'll be good. He'll be good to go soon, and he's the weapon that the Brewers need if they're going to make a run.
All right, and what was it? Crap, I had another question. I just completely lost my train of thought. The Padres thing after going all in, do you think this is going to end up as a disaster?
I think it could. I think no team could look dumber than the Padres do at the end of this. If they don't win a World Series, it looks stupid. I think they're going to make the postseason, but if they don't win the World Series, you just gave up one of the best prospects in all of baseball, if not the best prospect in all of baseball. And so, I don't know. Personally, I think I don't know, man. I think there's a solid chance that this looks dumb on them at the end of this.
All right, transitioning over to NFL. How's the research going? I've been doing some digging. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I've been getting ready for the NFL. Obviously, fantasy drafts are starting. I have a Dynasty League rookie draft coming up. Speaking of, Give me two rookies that you really like going into this season that you think are maybe not sleepers, but are like some guys that won't be top tier picks that could have some value going into this year. Because
Well,
you're more of a
one
college
one of
football
them's
guy than I
getting
am.
one of them's getting insane hype right now, but I'm buying the Marion Hampton thing because I think the Chargers have a good
Yep.
O line. They're balanced. They're going to run the ball. And Najee Harris got injured on a fireworks deal, and so I love that Hampton's already running with the ones. And I think because a lot of times the rookie running backs, like usually they kind of start slower and pick up second half, but he's already looks like he's going to be the guy. And I think with Herbert and the offensive line and the way Harbaugh and Greg Roman like to run the ball, I think he's going to, he's like a top 50 pick already, but I think he could be like a,
Yep.
a low end number one running back on a fantasy team. That's kind of an
What do
obvious.
you think about what Trey Harris? Same team, former Ole Miss Rebel.
I think Harris
think
could be a
there?
really good pro, but I think they're going to try to be balanced. And I think Lab McConkey's number one guy. I think Harris could be the two, but then they also still have Quentin Johnson. There's rumors they're going to bring in Keenan Allen. Like I think Harris will be solid, but I just don't know if the target share is there in that offense.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. All right, let's get to some of these questions that chat had for
Yeah,
us for the NFL. First and foremost, there was one about Cam Ward. What do we think about Cam Ward? What do you think about the Titans going into this season? Have you heard anything about Cam Ward in camp so far?
I think their roster sucks. I'm worried Cam Ward. Like I think he's like a talented guy, but I think he's going to turn the ball over a lot because he plays kind of like a street ball style, sometimes extending plays, and I think that's going to be a problem in the NFL. I'm not big on him in fantasy this year. I like the second-year guys like Penix a lot more than I like Cam Ward. And I more just dog in Tennessee's roster. I mean, other than Calvin Ridley, I don't love the pass. I know they got the tight end you like, Okonkwo, but I don't like the receivers other than Ridley. Traylon Burks has been a disaster. He's off the team now. They released him. That A.J. Brown trade really cursed that franchise, but I'm not big on Cam Ward this year. What do you think?
I'm a little bit higher on Cam Ward than others are. I love the gunslinger mentality. He's very adept in the pocket. I think that's one of the things that we've seen with him. And like even whenever he's in college, like his ability to maneuver in the pocket, even under pressure, he's a guy that can make plays under pressure. So he's going to see a lot of pressure too. I mean, NFL defenses are going to send tons of blitzes at him, and he's that offensive line is very mediocre at best. And so he's gonna feel the pressure, but I do think he's the caliber of quarterback that can deal with it, and he's just elusive enough to deal with elite pass rushers. So I'm a little bit higher on him than other people are. I don't think he's gonna light the world on fire, and I definitely don't think the Titans as a collective organization are gonna light the world on fire.
All right. Appreciate the questions from chat. I love the one that asked Liam about that FCS. That was great. You said you got a couple
Yeah,
more?
they were also asking about the Bears. I saw one in here about the Bears somewhere. What do you think about the Bears going into this season?
All right, here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to have a bad start, and they're going to get better as the year goes on. But right now, my concerns, Ben Johnson runs a very complicated offense that's based on timing and rhythm and the ball coming out on time, and I'm worried about that with Caleb Williams' skill set with how much he likes to hold on to the ball. And he's got to learn a really complicated offense. I think they'll get better as the year goes on, but I don't think they're going to come out lighting the world on fire. What do you think?
Oh, well, I've been watching some of the training camp videos on him in particular. We've seen Ben Johnson draw him up some really good plays, some misdirection stuff. We saw a touchdown to one of the tight ends that was just simply Ben Johnson making elite play calls, right? Drawing up elite stuff. So when they have success, I think it's going to be because he is so damn good as a coordinator and his ability to call plays and draw up plays. I think that's where the success of this team is going to come from. I don't think it's going to be because you get a big leap at quarterback. I really don't see that happening. I don't know. I was kind of dogging him last year, and I don't see that step happening just yet for the Bears.
Yeah, he's got to get more decisive with the football, and that just when you watch him, that's what this offense. Like Jared Goff was always so decisive with the ball coming out on time, and I just don't see that out of Caleb.
Well, one of the videos, Caleb Williams, he runs straight backwards like he's prone to do and just throws it up in a triple coverage and gets intercepted. And Ben Johnson was pissed off about that when you could see it on the sidelines. So that kind of stuff is already happening in practice. I understand it's early in the year. You don't want to overreact by any means to some of these training camp videos, but it is all we have to go off of at the moment. And so I don't know, man. I personally, I'm not a Caleb Williams guy. I dogged on him all year last year. And unless Ben Johnson can pull a rabbit out of the hat, I don't see Caleb Williams becoming the dude.
All right, I got a couple more for you, Moody. I know you're big on. I'm kind of buying into the Jacksonville thing a little bit. Now they kind of announced that Travis Hunter is the number 2 receiver, and he's going to be the number 4 DB, which means he'll play in like dime packages on third and long. He's mainly going to play receiver. But with him and Brian Thomas, my big thing is Liam Cohen, what he did with Baker Mayfield. Can he resurrect Lawrence, and can Lawrence stay healthy? Because I think a lot of the problems Lawrence the last couple of years is he's been hurt a lot. And so I think maybe that's part of the deal. But I'm kind of starting to buy in a little bit.
I'm buying in a little bit. Reports the last couple of days have not been as good about the offense. They've been struggling. Their offensive line keeps having false starts and holding penalties in training camp. Lawrence has thrown like 3 interceptions over the last 3 or 4 days. So while I am higher on them than most people, I'm tempering my expectations because look, here's the thing. 2 years ago, before Trevor Lawrence got hurt, Jacksonville was in a position to be the number 1 seed. He got hurt and things kind of fell apart for them at the end of the year. Last year, early on in the season, tons of drop passes. I mean, ridiculous amount of drop passes. So I think if they can just fix the drop passes and some of the penalties and the little small parts of the game, I think this is a team that could win a division that's asking for a new team to emerge. I don't know. I think there's an opportunity there for Jacksonville to win that division, but they have to play really flawless football, and we just have not seen that from them yet. So I'm tempering my expectations, but I do think this will be Trevor Lawrence's best year so far as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, look, I think part of what we're saying about this division is I have a lot of questions about the Houston offensive line. And
Yep.
I know that I do like their defense, and I think they got franchise guys and Will Anderson and Stingley and C.J. Stroud, but I don't think they're just like the super slam dunk elite team, and I think that they're a little more vulnerable than people are thinking.
We have another question here from Chadwick. This is a college football question. Do you think the Utah Utes can win the Big 12?
So I actually took a parlay with them in Tulane to win their conferences at 27-1, and a big part of that, look, Utah's guy always has a really good defense. The big thing is they took Dampier, the New Mexico quarterback, he's 5'11", but he can run like crazy. He's like only a decent passer, but I think they hadn't had anything from the quarterback position the last few years. And I think that if he stays healthy, they do have a good shot in that conference. But the big thing is, can his 5'11" frame running the ball a lot hold up through a full season? And so that's my concern. But when you look at that league, I mean, you could make an argument for like 8 teams in that league. I think it's wide open. What will Arizona State do as an encore? We'll see. Kansas State with Avery Johnson. You got Iowa State made the Big 12 title game with Rocco Beck coming back. Baylor, kind of a dark horse with Sawyer Robertson at quarterback. I mean, this is a league that you can make an argument for. Texas Tech spent a ton of money in the portal. Can they take a step forward? But if Dampier is what he's supposed to be and stays healthy, I do think Utah's got a good shot.
All right, we can transition back to the NFL. Came out just a few minutes ago, or maybe earlier today, that Shedeur Sanders will start Game 1 for the Cleveland Browns. What do you expect from Shedeur?
To my Game 1 of preseason?
Game 1 of preseason, yes, the preseason.
Okay, I didn't mean NFL. I didn't think you meant NFL Week 1. I was like, no way. I don't know. I'm excited to see. I know he's had shoulder issues. I can't believe I saw Cleveland sign Tyler Huntley yesterday after they already had 4 quarterbacks on the roster. But Pickett has a hamstring thing. Gabriel has a hamstring thing. Pickett has something. Just that's crazy to me because I already felt like they had too many quarterbacks and they added a 5th.
Yep.
As far as Shedeur, I mean, my expectations aren't necessarily the highest. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, I want to see him under pressure because whenever he had a clean pocket in college, he was an incredibly accurate passer. He does throw on time. He's good. He's good when things are good. But when things break down, that's whenever his worst attributes come out. He holds the ball too long. He runs straight back. He takes sacks. I want to see him under pressure in an NFL game and see how he handles that. I want to see if some defenses throw some exotic looks at him. I want to see how he deciphers that. Like, these are the things I want to see from him. We're going to have a chance to see that here early in the preseason. I don't believe a ton in him, but I do think the talent's there. But we're talking about the Cleveland Browns as well. Unless freaking Andrew Luck comes out of retirement and takes over at quarterback, you just don't have a ton of faith in anybody that they throw out there.
I think that's totally fair. Who do you think wins the quarterback job in Indy in the Daniel Jones-Richardson battle?
So I was just reading up on this a little bit ago. Anthony Richardson starting preseason Game 1. Then they're going to come back with Daniel Jones starting Game 2. So, read between the lines on that how you want to. It feels like Daniel Jones more than likely has a leg up in that scenario. But from what I've seen, it's wide open at this point. Neither guy's won the job. I would think that Daniel Jones will be the starter, and then in the red zone, Anthony Richardson will have packages. I think that would make the most sense. I think both guys will get run, and if one of the dudes runs away with it, it's gonna be their job. But neither one of them's great. They both have flaws, and I don't know. I'll be shocked that either one of them produces a good season.
I got a question about a lot of talk out of Rams camp that Stafford's battling back problems. Are you worried about it, or is this McVay playing cat and mouse because he's known to do that?
Could be that, but it's something to pay attention to because Matthew Stafford is he's one of the oldest starting quarterbacks in the NFL at this point. He's had issues.
He's taken beatings for years.
He's taken beatings, but he is also a guy that will play through injury. Like if he's able to go, he's going to go. And the question will be, how much does the back hamper him? It's a big time injury for a quarterback. I'm still buying on the Rams just because I like what they've done. I like what their defense looked like at the end of last season. I don't think that division is super strong outside of San Francisco. So I like the Rams. I still think they win the division. But if it's a legitimate injury for Matthew Stafford, it's something we have to keep an eye on.
Okay. A couple other rapid fire questions I got for you. How are you feeling about the Rodgers thing in Pittsburgh? What do you expect out of them this year?
I saw him throw a touchdown in the red zone drills yesterday. He's the best option for him. I mean, he's going to be the best quarterback that they've had in recent years, even at his old age. I don't know. We haven't seen much from them offensively in the last few years, and from a fantasy standpoint, I'm staying far away. Just no way I'm going to take a shot on Rodgers. I don't know. It's a big question mark. It really is. What's left in the tank? Can he stay healthy? He's been injured the last couple of years. I'm not a big believer at this stage in his career.
Okay, that's fair. NFC North. I'm curious, where are you on JJ McCarthy?
The reports don't look great. Well, it depends on who's putting out the reports. It looks like for the most part he's really struggled in camp though. So I don't know. I told you this last week when we chatted about JJ McCarthy. I'm not a believer. I need to see it to believe it. He's got tons of weapons on the outside. It did just come down like an hour ago though that Jordan Addison suspended the first 3 games for violating the substance abuse policy. So I don't know if it was PEDs or what. But
he had DUI. I know he had a DUI problem too.
Okay, well, I mean, problems sometimes turn into other problems. I'm curious to see what they are or what the exact information on that is. But I'm not a JJ McCarthy guy. I think if I'm looking at second-year quarterbacks, it's Kenny Pickett first and foremost. I like Pickett way more.
You mean
than
Penix?
I like JJ McCarthy. Yeah, Penix, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. No, I like Penix a lot. Drake London really did awesome with Penix too. And Darnell Mooney's been a little banged up. And I agree with you. I like Penix, and I think Atlanta's going to score a ton of points this year. So that's kind of
Kyle Pitts has looked really good so far in training camp.
Contract year.
It's training camp. Contract year. We've seen the hype on Kyle Pitts every single year, but the talent is there. I mean, he's a legitimately talented tight end. Maybe Penix gets the most out of him. Maybe he finally has that breakout year that we've been waiting on from him. I like the Falcons offense going into this year. I think they win that division. And I mean, the Saints are going to offer up nothing. The Bucks should take a step back without Lee and Cohen. I like Atlanta.
All right, there you go, man. You know what I like, Moody? Talking football with you, man. I'm getting excited about the season. This month is all about it. We're going to be talking ball all month long. We're going to have some fun guests. And happy birthday to Blutman, too. You got any other NFL thoughts you want to mention before you get out of here?
Cowboys are just the Cowboys. You never know what you're going to get from them. There's always training camp BS going on with them. They did give Micah Parsons the contract that he wanted. Dallas could go 13-3. Like they still have the talent to make that happen, and that's the crazy part about it. But there's just so much turmoil around that team in that locker room that who knows what's going to happen. I think Joe Burrow has a massive year, which is not saying much considering the year that he had last year. But all reports seem to be that Burrow is even better this training camp than they've ever seen him. And so I think the Bengals are a team to watch out for if their defense can play well and their offensive line holds up.
Yeah, hopefully Trey Hendrickson. I know he showed up to camp because he was getting fined $50,000 a day. I'm wondering what's going to happen there.
Have you seen anything on Jackson Dart? I'm sure you probably.
I
What's
just see
going on with the
I just see
Giants? Is it going to be Russell Wilson?
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, I just see practice highlights, but man, it's gonna be Will. Like they gave Russell Wilson a 1-year deal, but I think he got like 21 million. Man, this thing's gonna be Russ the first while, I think. And Dart, if they're 2-6, you're gonna see Dart in the second half. That's what I think.
Thoughts on the Saints going into the year? Could they go back to being the Aints? Is it a chance that they have the worst record in the NFL?
I think there's a chance. I just don't look. I mean, you got to give Kellen Moore hopefully the benefit of the doubt on Tyler Shuck pick, but
he looks
I
bad.
He
so
looks
far.
real.
Everything I've seen, he looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of reasons for optimism, to be honest. I'm going in expecting the worst here. Like I think 4 or 5 wins is what I think's coming. So
we talked about Travis Hunter. We mentioned him. We didn't really talk about him. It looks like he's wide receiver 2 in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a chance that he is kind of one of the breakout fantasy players in his rookie season, because it feels like they want to use him more at receiver than they do anywhere else?
Yeah, I know. I saw that when they announced he's the number 4 corner, so that means he'll be in like 3rd and long dime packages, and that's it. I don't know. I mean, it certainly means he's going to be on the field a lot with Brian Thomas on the other side. Nobody's going to be able to roll coverages over toward him.
As far as like the Lions and the Bucks, great offenses last year. They lose elite play callers. Are you expecting them, from a fantasy standpoint at least, to take a step back? Because while I still love Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm not as high on the Lions' offense as I was last season.
I definitely think it's a step back because I think Ben Johnson's the best play caller in the NFL, and Johnny Morton, who they replaced him with, I don't feel nearly the same about him. On the Lions offense, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown could take a hit. He's going like number 9 overall in fantasy, and I think that's a little much, in my opinion. I mean, Laporta still had a decent year last year, but he wasn't the same as he was his rookie year. Jameson Williams certainly still going to get the ball because he's such a playmaker, but yeah, I do. I mean, I think the Lions offense will still be good, but I think it does take a significant step back. And so I like Gibbs as well. But no, I think that. And then on the Bucks front, I like Bucky Irving still. I mean, I think he's going to have a good year. I like how he emerged. I think the running game will be fine. The big thing is can the Ohio State first-round receiver, step in? Because right now Chris Godwin's going to be out a while. So what's going to happen at that number, because they really need him to step up opposite Mike Evans. I know Jalen McMillan flashed some. The rookie out of Washington last year, it's the second year. He flashed toward the end of the year, but I don't know. I mean, I could see him stepping. I could see the passing game being a little worse. I mean, that passing game was elite toward the end, last year. I think it'll be a little worse.
Are you at all worried about Jaden Daniels? Obviously, they have an issue right now with the contract for
Terry?
Yeah. What Terry McLaurin? Like, what are your thoughts going with Washington going into this year? Obviously, Daniels lit the world on fire, rookie of the year last year. Do you think the McLaurin missing all of training camp is an issue or a non-issue?
I don't think it's an issue as long as he comes back. But man, if they lose him, I mean, he was the only receiver that, like, without him, I mean, that receiving core looks really shaky. I don't know what to think of Debo this year because he looked like he'd lost a step last year. He's in a bounce back spot, and they obviously traded for him, so they got plans for him. But, man, I mean, I just, if McLaurin's not out there, it's a huge, huge problem. But I kind of think that they'll get it worked out.
Yeah, they definitely need to. Mr. Nutt says he took the Aints to have the worst record at plus 425. It feels like a pretty good bet, Mintz.
Yeah, Cleveland and the Saints are the two that people are taking. It's Cleveland's the one thing about it, Cleveland's in a much harder division with the Bengals and Steelers and Ravens. The Saints do have the Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, but man, I just don't like. I mean, explain to me why I'm supposed to be optimistic about the Saints thing. I just don't. The only thing I can come up with is I like the new coaching staff, but I'm not optimistic about Tyler Shuck. They're going through. It's going to be a rebuild. I don't know, man. I just don't think they're going to be very good, and I just can't see Shuck coming in and being the savior at quarterback his rookie year. And I'm just not. Look, I know a lot of people like Spencer Rattler. I since day one, I'm just not a believer. So
he's looked terrible every chance they've given him. I think a dark horse, or maybe not necessarily a dark horse, but a team that could have the worst record is the Raiders. I don't like anything that they have necessarily done. I'm not buying anything from the Raiders right now. I understand they got Ashton Genty. Maybe he puts the team on his back and he carries them to a few wins. But that division has gotten that much better. They already had Kansas City at the top. The Chargers look better. The Broncos should be good again. I think the Raiders are a team that should be in the conversation for worst record in the NFL.
Yeah, so I actually like that you brought that up because all of a sudden I've been seeing all this Raiders hype all over social media lately, and I don't see it either. I mean, I think
No, I
Gino will
don't see
put
it.
up empty stats, but like, and I mean Pete Carroll, I like the competition and the his culture thing, but I just don't think there's a lot of talent. And I think your biggest point is just, I mean, you got 6 games against the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. I mean, like, what you're hoping to
Yep.
go 1-5? I mean,
hmm
and so I don't hate your logic there. That's like I said, I mentioned the Cleveland thing too, the Bengals, Ravens, Steelers thing. It's just such when you're in those divisions where the other 3 teams are that good, it's just makes it awful tough. And that's the one thing the Saints have going for them is that they're in a much weaker division. But
All right, final thing I've got. What team goes from a good season to a bad season, or who maybe falls from the top somewhere to the middle or the bottom? Who falls off the most going into this year?
okay, let's see what's. I'm gonna. I mean, I don't know if they may still get a wild card, but I'm actually. I kind of think the Commanders might fall a little bit.
I can see it.
I mean,
I'm
I think Dallas is going to be better than people think, like you said, and I could see the Commanders getting third in that division.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions. I think Ben Johnson is just such a good play caller. We saw that they could not stop the run for shit in the second half of the year. I think the Packers will be a little bit better. The Vikings,
I don't know what to think
I
of
don't
the
know. They're
Vikings, the McCarthy thing.
that's a that's a big question mark too. I think the Lions could fall off a little bit. Maybe the Bears are a little bit better now with Ben Johnson there. I think the Lions. I'm not saying that they missed the playoffs, but I think as far as being the best team in the NFC going into the playoffs, I can't see that being the case once again. I think the Lions fall off. All right, now who's the team that takes the step forward this year? Who goes from a non-contender to potentially a playoff team?
So it's totally a non-contender. So it can't because, like, I mean, I like you.
Yeah, just
Both the Broncos and Chargers made the playoffs and did not win last year, but you can make arguments for both of them. I think I like your Atlanta winning the NFC South logic. I don't think they could make like a run at the Super Bowl though, but I think
yep.
they could win that division. So I can make an argument there. You mentioned the Bengals. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs last year, and they were really good. They just lost all those close games because they couldn't stop anybody. And they hired Al Golden, the Notre Dame defensive coordinator, who's very highly regarded. I thought he was awesome in college football. And I mean, if they could just stop anybody, they'll make the playoffs because that offense is so elite. So I'll go with the Bengals.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think it's a weak division. I think there's a chance for them to win that division if Cohen really takes Trevor Lawrence and molds him into the quarterback we all think he could be or was supposed to be in the draft when they took him number one. So I'm taking Jacksonville. They were the number one seed with like 4 weeks, 5 weeks to go 2 years ago, and then he got hurt and things fell apart. I think Jacksonville has a perfect recipe, a perfect division to take a big step forward. They just have to have Trevor Lawrence play good football. Brian Thomas Jr., stud, absolute monster. If Travis Hunter is half as good as he's being reported to be right now in training camp, you've got 2 elite weapons on the outside. I think their running game is decent. The defense played okayish at times. I think Jacksonville is the team that takes the big step forward this year, and they not only make the playoffs. I think they win that division. I think they're going to have the best value on any team to win their division going into this year. So give me Jacksonville as the team to take that step forward.
Plus 290 to win the AFC South on DraftKings right now.
I like it. I mean, I wish it was a little bit more. I wish it was like 4-1, but I'll take 3-1. I think it's very possible because it's really a two-team race. You don't see Indianapolis or Tennessee vying to win that division. I think it's a two-team race. I think it's Jacksonville and Houston. And if Houston, they looked vulnerable last year a lot. And if they don't get some of their offensive line woes fixed, then they could definitely take a step back. So I think Jacksonville, for me, is kind of my breakout team. Mr. Nuts says Broncos, Falcons, Cardinals. I could see the first two. I love the Falcons going into this year, just like Mintz. The Cardinals, maybe. Marvin Harrison looks great so far in training camp. I will say that.
Who do you like more out of the Broncos or Chargers this year? Because like you could make arguments on both. I mean, look at the two head coaches. The way Herbert and Bo Nix played great as a rookie. There's a lot of reasons for optimism for both teams. I'm just curious who you like more of those two.
I think I like the Broncos a little bit more. I think Sean Payton's just the man. I think that's what it comes down to for me. And look, Denver's defense was pretty damn solid last year. They should be just as good, if not better, even going into this year. So I think it's Denver for me. Kansas City's probably still going to win that division. But Denver was hot on their ass at the end of last year. And I think the Broncos, assuming that Bo Nix plays well once again, I think they're slightly better than the Chargers.
Well, Moody, I just want to say I freaking love talking football with Blutman and you, dude. Just getting in the spirit of this thing. I mean, I just can't wait to fire some DraftKings. You know, we got a college football countdown up in the office, 17 days away, and we're going to be talking a hell of a lot more football all month long. Do you have any picks for tonight for baseball? I saw you hit 3 out of your 4 home run pops last night.
Yeah, I hit 3 out of 4 last night. The first time I had not round robin my home run picks. I was in a time crunch yesterday. I just threw something together. Didn't round robin for the first time. Hit 3 of 4. Tonight I've got Kerry Carpenter, Andrew Vaughn, and Gunnar Henderson on one of my parlays. I'm going to throw out another one as well. So those 3, Kerry Carpenter, Andrew Vaughn, Gunnar Henderson, lock them in. Let's hit a parlay tonight.
Let's do it. Fire away on DraftKings, and shout out Still Blue. Always great. Iced coffee in the summertime, and shout out to Dude Wipes. Let it rip with Dude Wipes. Looking forward to talking some more ball with you tomorrow, Moody. Have a night. Thank y'all. Thanks for the chat, and appreciate it. Happy birthday again to Blutman.